In this lecture, we are going to talk about translations. And the translation that we're going to talk about is the reflection over the y-axis. So the first thing I notice is that my first graph is a square root graph. And the square root graph would look like that, or the function would look like the square root. So the first thing I need to do is find my vertex. And I realize that my vertex has shifted to the left 2 and up 3. Now how do I know that it's a flip or reflection over the y-axis? Well, normally the square root graph would go up and to the right, but this one is going up and to the left. So I know it flipped over the y-axis. So now let's write our function. I'm going to call this one g of x. Now I know it's the square root, and I know that it's going to be x, and because it went to the left 2, it's going to be add 2, and then when it up 3, so on the outside of the square root, I'm going to put plus 3. Now, to show that it was a flip over the y-axis, I'm going to put the stuff on the inside of the parentheses, so the x plus 2, I'm going to make that a negative. Now you can leave your answer like this, or you can go ahead and simplify it. I'm going to show you how to simplify it for those who care. So I'm going to take that negative and distribute it inside the parentheses. So I have negative x minus 2, and then that plus 3 on the outside. It doesn't matter which function here that you type in, you're still going to get the graph that is shown. For this next graph, I also notice that it is a square root graph. And I notice that it is going to the left, so that means a reflection over the y-axis, and it's going down, so that's also going to be a reflection over the x-axis. So first, let's find the vertex. And that vertex is going to be at negative 2, 3. So what I know is that my vertex from 0, 0 went to the left 2 and up 3. Now because it's going down and to the right, it's going to be a flip over the x and y-axis. So let's focus on writing the function. So I'm going to start out, I'm just going to call this one f of x. I'm going to make a square root since I know that it's a square root. Now to show that it's left 2, I'm going to put x plus 2. To show that it's up 3, on the outside of the square root, I'm going to put up 3. Now to show the flip over the x-axis, I'm going to put a negative sign on the outside of the function. And then to show the flip over the y-axis, I'm going to put a negative on the inside of the square root and put the x plus 2 in parentheses. Now, writing this function for this graph would be perfectly okay. But if you wanted to simplify it a little bit more, you could simplify the inside of the square root and put negative x minus 2 and then plus 3. Either one of these functions would be acceptable.